Welcome to the Trading Bell Show. I hope you're keeping well. I'm here with Chris Flowers, the Managing Director of Kakuzi PLC, and they have just launched their brand. I know you're curious about to know what is that again that they just did, but he's here to help us understand what they just did. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Good. Last we had a conversation with you was when you were launching your sustainability report, and it's good to see the progress that you have done, and there's a lot to talk about. But first, let's talk about your new brand identity, if I may call it that. But you're here to educate us. What informed this, and what are we looking at now?
So Kakuzi was established in 1927, and for roughly the last 100 years, we've had a company, a great company, but we've never had a brand that crafts our identity. And we stand for so much in terms of values, purpose, impact. And today's world demands so much of modern brands that we needed to identify what is the value, what's our value to society, what's our value to different stakeholders, what do we stand for? And that's what came out with our brand, which is Kakuzi Growing Together.
Okay, congratulations on that. I heard you say that a brand is not just about what you say about yourself, but what others say about you. So you're really looking forward to customers really speaking about you.
Yeah, honest dialogue, authentic dialogue is important to a brand's integrity. And we know at times that people will say some good things. We know at times that people may not say some good things. We've got to be open to that and be able to listen to it and to react to it in a credible and a transparent manner.
Absolutely, absolutely. The last conversation we had with you, you told me that you have a serious population that lives with you, and definitely they matter on what they say about you. But let's talk about your theme and strategy. I have been seeing that you're quite bullish, and I think you released a statement saying that, our produce and market diversity still holds on. Tell us more about it.
So as you know, we're a big exporter. We're the biggest exporter, the biggest producer of avocados, one of the biggest exporters of macadamias. We just launched a superfood range of blueberries as well. But until we created this brand, we didn't really have a domestic presence. And this is about bringing high quality, nutritious, sustainable and responsibly grown products to Kenyan consumers at prices that are affordable. We just launched a macadamia oil product which is at affordable prices. We're hoping that our nuts will be at affordable prices as well. And then obviously our meat range is there and other products as well.
Okay, and that's lovely. I'm curious to know how is the reception like? Because you're dealing with a lot of, let me call them, external customers as well. And I think you've also mentioned that you'll be also focusing on selling even locally as much. How is the reception like on the new products and the diversification that you brought in?
We launched our new oil plant, which is processing macadamia kernel from our own orchards in a cold press manner, so it preserves the integrity of the product. The first week we launched, we sold 40 liters of oil. Whoa. We're now selling 100. The first week, we're now selling 150 liters a week, and we've got a capacity to quadruple that. So without any marketing whatsoever, the demand from just our communities around us for farm to fork credentials. I know what went into making this product. I know where it's come from is a really, really important part of it.
Speaking about the community, you are working with a lot of the community, if I may use that. And maybe you could elaborate that a bit more, but more so touch on what you're doing with smallholder farmers, because we know, I have seen some people come to get some knowledge from your end.
On the sort of community stuff, we've got a lot of very important initiatives. One of them is Jiko Pasasa, which is actually the stove of the now. And we put about 900 of these stoves into various villages, various communities which surround Kakuzi. And the whole importance of that is actually reduces by about 30 to 40% the amount of wood that someone has to use to prepare a meal. So you can imagine the knock-on effect of that. If you don't have to get so much wood, the environmental impact, the positive environmental impact, the impact on somebody's time because they're not running off to collect that wood, they're all important contributors to a better lifestyle. That's one important bit, but The other one that we really focus on is knowledge, and we've seen a lot of the conversation around the crops that we grow and people characterizing them as green gold. And I have to say, nothing can be further from the truth.
Green gold.
Green gold. I mean, if understanding how you plant a product that is going to have a sale value internationally, that's a critical message that we need to give to farmers before they're making the decision, do you or do you not want to take your valuable land and put it to this crop? Because the risk and reward of doing that is quite high.
Thank you for that, Chris. You posted 62% growth in your profits last year, which is really commendable, and it's progressive growth over time. I just wanted to ask, what has brought these numbers?
There was a combination of all the crops coming together, and so we had a good year in avocados, we had a good year in macadamias, mainly because we had secured sales prior to the COVID pandemic. But the COVID pandemic has had a major impact on the consumption of macadamias. And so, as you know from the news, the macadamia industry worldwide is facing a lot of headwinds. So we are obviously a big producer of macadamias, and when we are facing the same headwinds that everybody else is facing. So yeah, it was a combination of lots of things that we had in place, all came together.
Great, and I saw you gave your shareholders 24 shillings per share. It's good news for the shareholders. Of course, shareholders will always be concerned. Are we expecting to keep ripping as we are ripping? What's your word for them?
We have got a strategy which is about growth. We grow our crops, and as we've just been showing today, and the strategy's been looked at by the board, and the investments that we require are very much within our means, but we've got to continue to diversify.
You're right.
The blueberry investment is a major investment if that commercial trial really shows what we think it will show. And then everything that we've been talking about today, diversifying into the domestic markets is key as well.
Your brand, combined experience, as you said, is 700 years. That's quite a shock. That's quite big. And you've been in existence since 1927. What are your key takeouts on all this, and what can brands as well learn from this, and companies that are hoping to live into decades like you have? You're about to hit a century.
We've actually just completed an employee satisfaction survey. And we did one a few years ago, and now we've just brought in the same consultants to redo it again. And we're really impressed with the way that our management team has grown with us and grown into this new value proposition that we've been talking about today. And when we actually then started to look at the numbers and add up the experience of all of our managers, I was staggered as well. But 700 years, 76 people, 700 years of combined experience. That's a pretty enviable position to have as a business.
It is, absolutely. Speaking to other, you might call them manufacturers as well, and farmers as well, they're facing quite some headwinds. One of it would be access to markets, but some of them are seeing opportunities with the opening up of markets like the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And I'm curious to know whether those are things that excite you as well. And others talk about cost of production and those kind of challenges as well. I don't know, what is your entry of challenges, and are you excited about these open markets that we're having conversations about?
I mean, the challenges are there, but the way of dealing with challenges is trying to turn them into an opportunity. And I think we're seeing a real burgeoning demand for high quality, traceable products. And what do I mean by traceable? It's not, this is the geography of where that was growing. It's about, can I be sure that the food I'm feeding my family, I know exactly how it was produced, and I've got confidence that I'm being told the truth. So whether it was grown with a certain chemical or a certain fertilizer, how it was harvested, how it was processed, all of that is traceability. And there's a big market, not just in Kenya, but regionally now as well, which is wanting to make sure that food is safe for families, for personal consumption.
I have a friend who was constructing the other day, and I think they needed to fence their area. And when they were getting the poles to fence, they said we need to go to, you know, I think it was along the highway where you live. And then I was curious to know, where is that? And they say Kakuzi. And so definitely I see there's also a diversification, if I may call it that, as well, into the industry of wood, if I may call it that. How is that doing?
It's been doing very well for quite a few years. I mean, sustainable wood production is a very key topic at the moment. There's a lot of conversations about what does that actually mean. Now, for us at Kakuzi, we have about 1,500 hectares of forestry that we fell on a 10 to 12 year cycle. So we fell every 12 years a certain area and replant straight away. So we've constantly got wood in rotation, which basically means we've got a business that we can constantly supply consumers with products that they know are growing responsibly.
And the cycle has been going very well along. Is that achievable, large scale in the country? Because this has been a ripe conversation.
I think it is achievable, yes. I do. I believe that.
Okay. Congratulations once again on your new brand. We expect just the best out of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. There you have it. That's Chris Flowers, the Managing Director, Kakuzi PLC, just speaking to him after their new brand launch. And of course, he's very optimistic of the future and them keeping the diversification agenda on and growing. All the best to them. That's it right here on the Trading Bell. I leave you now with the markets.